this is what you're looking for. In the gearbox, this gets pushed up, which connects the two pins which are inside here. So this is normally open, which means there's no connection to the two wires that go in. So there's a 12 volt comes in, and when the button's pressed, it then connects across to the other tab, to the other pin, which then goes out to your reverse lights, through the bulbs, and then down to the earth, which is in the boot as well. Things to note are that this is a 21mm nut, and which is of course about an inch, which is nice, but can't put it on that way, it's going to be on this way. So the socket's not deep enough, so you're going to need a long socket or an adjustable, good adjustable to get around it. So adjustable is what we're going to use. It doesn't have to go on particularly tight, but not crazy tight. So, and that's a 16mm metric thread. Mazda6 diesel TS2 reverse lights. I'm not switching on either of them. What are we on? 152,000 miles. Lift the bonnet. So the reverse light switch is underneath the battery and also underneath this air intake pipe which goes down the side under here. So first of all, remove the air filter box. So got the MAF sensors on here. Remove the battery, remove the pipe, and then swap them over. So first of all, we can undo this clamp here. It's a 10mm nut, so that's loose. We'll be able to pull that off nicely, and then all of it, disconnect the ECU plug and out the way. Just put that way out the way over here. Take these pipes off carefully, and you must remember which one goes on which. You've got 3 to take off here. So this is the long one, so that's clearly different than the other two. This back one I've cut slightly skewy, so remember that one. That's the back one, the front one, and then because you can see there's a blue one down here. The originals are all black. Let's try to fix another problem. It comes to this solenoid down here. So just take that off as well. Just easy pull. And now we can just lift all of this out. There's no bolts holding it in, we just lift it out. So that's the airbox out. There's the pipe that we've taken off. Here's the other 3 close together. Remember which one's which. So the reverse switch is in a hole underneath this pipe. So this pipe comes in from the air filter down here, and then the switch is underneath this pipe. So what we do is, there is this bolt here, and there's this bolt here. We loosen, take that off, and then this pipe will come out all the way. It's being held to the engine casing at the moment, which obviously to get to we need to remove the battery as well. So removing the battery, it's very easy. Loosen this bolt here, take this off, and this bolt here, this takes the brace off, which then we can lift the battery out. It's good practice to disconnect the batteries. I'm not going to practice good practice today. I'm going to leave it connected and just move the whole battery to the side so I can get to the space underneath. So just to note, you do take this bolt all the way off. This one only, it doesn't have to come off all the way because there's a metal hook on the other end that bolts to the bottom of the tray that the battery sits on. So you just unscrew it part of the way, this drops down, and then you can hook it out. So we'll just put that to the side safely. So now the battery can be lifted out. The handles, it's very heavy, so I'm going to use 2 hands. So now we've got the battery out of the way. we've got this tray, these two bolts, undo those, that's where the hook goes in that came down from the top to hold the battery in place as well, so I'll just take these two out now. So two screws are out of the way, this tray just lifts off, minus this clip holding the electrics on. So put that safely out of the way. So now the pressure switch is underneath this pipe here. Out of interest, if you want to know where your fuel filter is, it's this bad boy back here. This is your air conditioning, AC, and this is one of the pressure switches. Okay, so now I'm going to loosen this bolt so that I can just pull this out the way. And it doesn't need to be disconnected anywhere else, it's loose this end. I'm finding most of these bolts are 10mm everything. So, nothing needs to be super duper tight. So this comes out of the way. I quite often forgot a lot of bolts to take off. What I'll do is I'll put it back in where it came out. So if bolts are different lengths, I don't confuse which one went where. So this is it now. Here we've got three air pipes. We've got a plug here, and then there's another plug on top of the reverse switch. I'm not quite sure why Mazda couldn't just make it all the way to one, why there's got to be another switch in here. There is a small piece of plastic to press on the top of this one, push it in, and this comes off. There's a spring clip there that holds it on. This then, I've already loosened it, but it's 21mm. I didn't have a socket long enough, so I've used my adjustable to get in there. There's plenty of room to swing around. And then we'll put the new one in. So that'll do. Plug back on. And push fit. There we are. Right, now at this stage I'm just going to go and test the lights before I put it all back together. The battery is still connected. So ignition on, into reverse, and we've got reverse lights. So now put everything back in order, so put the inlet pipe back. Tray back on. Now battery's back in place. This hook goes under where that, see the white line under the plastic. This one back in. Next thing, last thing almost really, the airbox back in. So put the pipes back on, so this one that came around the box It's on here. The long one clearly goes on the part furthest away. The one with the rough cut edge went on one on the back, but you would want to mark. You want to mark your own ones. You know, with a marker pen, just put B or a biro on there. B, although it's black, so tie a bit of string round one or something. And make it clear. This one came on the front. 3 pipes on. This is the inlet pipes now back on the airbox. Looks like they've got a couple of small marks that line up here to make sure you get this thing back on straight. Tighten this up with the 10mm. So this is tight. Now we put the nav sensor plug back on. So there's a temperature sensor and the airflow